Among all the PlayStation Plus games we've gotten over the years, this is definitely my favourite one, to the point where I actually would have paid money to play this game. RoboCop Rogue City follows a continuation of Alex Murphy's story, actually taking place between the second and third film, which I didn't know existed until now. I'd watched the first film, the OG 1987 movie, after playing the game for an hour, because I initially thought this game was an adaptation of the film, which would lead to spoilers of course. But when I found out it was a continuation, it made sense to at least watch the film first to witness the origins of how Alex became RoboCop. As some of you fans may know, in the film, Alex, a recently transferred cop to Detroit, is brutally murdered at a steel mill by a dangerous gang ran by Clarence Boddicker, and the OCP, aka Omni Consumer Products, are a mega corporation that essentially run the Detroit Police Department. They see Alex's death as a business opportunity and use his remains to turn him into RoboCop. With his memories suppressed, he's been reprogrammed to support the OCP with 3 prime directives. 1. To serve the public trust, 2. To protect the innocent, and 3. To uphold the law. As the story continues with the game, you get to witness Alex try and maintain these directives. Starting off in the police station, you're tasked with some face-to-face customer support. Not so much of the guns blazing just yet, but the interactions you have with these people will let you make the decisions. You can listen to their situation, their dilemma, and decide whether to choose between upholding the law or your own morals. You know, is this RoboCop or Alex Murphy talking sort of thing.
I think it's because they're jealous of my new dog. Why would they get so worked up every time I take him for a walk?
What is his name?
He has a beautiful red coat, so I called him Fire. He likes to hide, so sometimes I have to yell, "Fire! Fire!" to find him. Anyway, can you do something about my neighbors?
Your behavior disrupts public order. I must issue a ticket.
That's fine. I don't mind paying the price for having the cutest dog in all Detroit.
Next, please.
Some of these choices can have short to long-term impacts, or so you'd think. I'd caught this one guy vandalizing property, and a negative interaction with him was supposed to result in some sort of payback. I assume it was a case of let him go with a slap on the wrist with the potential of some reward for your empathy, or punish them with the possibility of revenge. In this instance, I don't think I experienced any sort of backlash from this guy or his crew. I never saw him again despite the threats, but I would assume the possibility is there.
You are being fined $100 for the violation that you have committed.
Are you crazy? I don't work. How am I supposed to pay for this?
Failing to pay may result in serious consequences for your guardians.
That's an uncool move you pulled right here. I'll make sure everyone in the hood knows your score.
After watching the 1987 film, I appreciated the environment more. It's impressive that they put a lot of effort into making the police station look the same. It's not 100% accurate, but if you'd watched the movie, roaming around you'd notice similarities. The main lobby waiting area, the locker room, they even have the shirtless guy posted up here, the car park where RoboCop always leaves in his vehicle. Even other areas like the steel mill have the infamous debris trap that you can interact with and use on enemies, which is quite cool. They even have some familiar faces returning, good and bad. Your loyal partner, Anne Lewis, who does accompany for some missions. She plays a major role in this game and is Murphy's anchor, so to speak, like in the movie. Warren Reed is another one. Personality remains as the no-nonsense approach, trying to do good in the city. Clarence, although dead after the first movie, still has remnants of his gang causing havoc as well. And of course, how can I forget ED-209, the heavy droid which is fighting its own demons. What's supposed to be an ally of the police force can easily turn into an enemy of RoboCop, as this presents one of the many challenges ahead.
Now have 5 seconds to comply. 4,
I said
3,
everything is under control.
1.
Ed,
I am
stand
now
there.
authorized to use physical force.
Woo, you know you did.
I really liked RoboCop's demeanor, especially in this game. The way he speaks with precision, bluntness, being someone with very few words, declarative sentences, accompanied by his head swivels and stiff movement. It's kind of sad in a way that he was salvaged for an inhumane role such as this, but it can also be quite comedic. Some of his one-word answers or statements accompanied by an abrupt head swivel actually made me laugh. I don't know, I might be the only one that finds a robot's simple communication and navigation funny.
Worried about the weight limit?
Lewis, you're here.
Anyone expecting a silver freak?
Drop it, scum.
Robo,
Who's there? Show yourself!
you'd better not.
As you wish, creep. You are under arrest. Come quietly.
Do you really believe that's what's gonna happen?
You better go, Miss Ortiz. It seems there will be trouble.
There are several enemies in this game, but the main antagonist is Wendell Antonowski. He's actually a high-ranking member of OCP and his main goal is to control or own RoboCop. He knows how to use a gun but isn't a direct physical threat. It's the mind games, his tech skills that can suppress RoboCop as a way of nullifying his abilities to fight back, but also proving that he can take control whenever he wants. Behind all this, there are other villains that will come to light sooner than you think. Gameplay wise, like I said before, part of RoboCop's journey entails a lot of interactions with victims, criminals, police, or the general public, conducting investigations and finding more info to solve a crime. Some missions adopt like a LA Noire style approach, finding out the perpetrator of a long-winded murder mystery. It's not in depth like LA Noire where you can actually make mistakes and get the wrong person. With RoboCop, it's just asking the questions, the mystery will solve itself, the game will make sure you do it correctly. As for the nitty-gritty gameplay, it's very simple, just like RoboCop's nature, point and shoot. Now I did have to quickly switch to performance mode, quality was very bad, unplayable for me, but even with performance mode I did have some major stuttering and lag and sluggishness during the most intense parts of the game. No PS5 Pro here, just the regular version, so if you are on the Pro you may have a better time with it. For the standard PS5 it could very well just be me, so I wouldn't worry too much. It is manageable though, it happens every once in a while, so nothing detrimental. But yes, each mission has you run through a level of sorts, a gauntlet as it may be, taking on waves of enemies to gain access to an area, to get to a main boss, save a hostage or victim, or even find clues. It's basically a process of let me dispatch these guys so I can do my detective work sort of thing, and I really enjoyed the gunplay, mainly due to Murphy's signature pistol, the Auto 9. This thing is a beast, it's your starter weapon that stays with you throughout the game, so you'd normally expect it to be just a standard pistol, a handgun, like whatever, right? This thing feels like a pistol, a hand cannon, an SMG, an AR, a sniper, all in one. The Auto 9 is one of the most overpowered weapons I've seen. It starts off as a 3 burst, but even with the way it sounds, you know this thing hits like a truck. Enemies have their limbs blown off, go flying back when shot with this thing. Popping heads is really satisfying too. I did not expect this gun to act like this. Throughout the level, enemies drop weapons of their own, SMGs, assault rifles, LMGs, but I'll be honest, even those guns lose their superiority compared to the Auto 9. It's nice using them, don't get me wrong, the shotguns and rocket launchers pack a punch, and are very much needed weapons late game with the types of enemies you face. But going up against regular cannon fodder, street thugs, this pistol will absolutely have no problem blitzing them. Even against bosses with the right upgrades, this thing is goated. Most of your missions take place indoors with a slight mix of outdoors, and this opens up new avenues for enemy types. Thugs on vehicles, which are a little harder to shoot, but you can easily make quick work of them by just standing in their way. It's quite funny. But sooner or later you'll come up against ones that are either evenly matched with RoboCop or even stronger, towering over him like the ED-209. After getting cooked by this thing multiple times, I only just came to the realization of how to upgrade my Auto 9 pistol. I was breezing through levels up until this point, but even the Auto 9 has its limits without upgrades. I could have cheesed him round the pillars, but I wasn't doing enough damage. Well, there's that, and I did throw something at him earlier, so I might have annoyed him. You see, by completing side quests, helping civilians, exploring Detroit, looting chests, etc., you can find these things called chips. They resemble a circuit board of sorts, and by using these methods as well as killing certain enemies, there's a chance to drop modules, the devices that are used for upgrading said chips. At first, the UI for this looks daunting, and I had no idea what I was supposed to do or how to navigate this. But essentially, each board has a series of nodes you can connect to, but you must start from a valid power source. otherwise it won't work. The modules on your left are the ones you use to connect the branches together and to acquire the upgrade for your weapon based on the symbol in question. You can ramp up your magazine size, reload speed, improve weapon spread, damage and armor piercing potential. There are also some signature perks that give you explosive ammo or infinite ammo so you never need to reload. The modules you use must also match the available outer connectors if that makes sense, and you should in theory try to avoid the red penalty nodes. Throughout my playthrough I don't think I found any board with a skill or perk that is worth the trade-off penalty. I'd say avoid them if you can, it's just that penalty usually affects every stat for your gun, so you just have to choose wisely. But for me, when approaching the end game, I was rocking a fully automatic pistol with infinite ammo, so the carnage was insane. These upgrades definitely improved the gameplay experience tenfold. It was very fun. Besides shooting though, what surprised me was the ability to throw objects. Given that RoboCop can hold most weapons with one hand, weight isn't an issue, so he's got the strength to throw some heavy objects that are an eye-widening sight for his enemies. Explosive barrels, why shoot him if you can throw them? Chairs, furniture, crates, trash cans, bikes and enemies themselves. The ragdolling in this game is the funniest I've seen as well. The exaggeration is there, it's very over the top, sort of similar to the 80s style where stuntmen would jump and flop about like they're in a gymnastics class. It's very Looney Tunesy, if that makes sense. Some enemies will be left in some awkward positions that I couldn't help but chuckle at.
Oh my god.
Are you the police informant? Do you know where I can find Soot?
And if you accompany that with RoboCop's ability to breach, a procedure of breaking open a door while slowing down time, any enemies directly behind it will be sent flying, which is always hilarious to watch.
Open the door. I have the warrant.
Oopsie, I think I dropped my key somewhere. You'd have to break down this hardened door if you want to get in.
That will not be a problem.
Woo, you know you did.
You can melee of course as well. RoboCop definitely packs a punch. He will send enemies flying with this action, but unfortunately I didn't use it as much as I should have. I kind of just shot everyone, but I will say it's definitely good to incorporate some melee when you can. Your punches will make you feel like Predaking launching Decepticons into space. As displayed in the movie, if RoboCop comes under too much fire, he can indeed be destroyed. Going into this, I did think of the possibility of him being invincible, but this isn't the case. He does have a health bar, and if you take too much damage, you will die. The generic enemies weren't too troublesome. The only ones I'd watch out for are the enemies that use station machine guns and snipers. Because they do the most damage, sitting in front of a machine gun won't do you any favors, so I do the little peekaboo trick until I'm certain my shots will land. You can also get creative and use environmental hazards to take out enemies too, which is great. Besides upgrading your pistol, RoboCop himself can receive upgrades. Combat improvements help with weapon damage and providing status effects. Armor improves your damage reduction and can even give you the ability to ricochet incoming fire. Vitality helps with giving more health charges, HP regeneration, and allows you to use fuse boxes to recover your health. Focus improves slow motion, deduction helps you reveal hidden items, etc. Now you get skill points after every mission, but I don't think you'll have enough to upgrade everything, so you need to choose wisely. I spent most of mine on vitality as I found myself taking a lot of damage towards the end of the game, but to each their own really. It depends on what you find important. However, some skills like deduction are necessary to solve quests, so you might want to invest in that as well. RoboCop is slow moving, which can make traversal a little annoying, but I think the areas were designed in a way where it's not too longed out, if that makes sense. The steel mill and the banks are large, but you forget about the distance to travel because you're too busy gunning down enemies. As for places like downtown, town, you'll spend a lot of time here. A lot of missions revolve around this place, and you'll get many side quests which are as simple as giving people tickets or locating missing people, for example. The precinct also has some slice of life missions such as restoring power to the building, or during large scale missions you'll often get time-based side missions such as saving a cat. And to answer your question, yes, I did save the cat. I spent ages in this room trying to find it, and after a quick YouTube search I'm annoyed at myself for not checking this spot.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Some side missions and dialogue interactions with characters you build relationships with do impact their lifestyles at the end of the game. Some are criminals trying to stay on the right path who need your guidance to do so, or you can get involved in a clash with two political parties to see which person you'd side with to be mayor. Again, these decisions are less impactful towards RoboCop and more on the individuals directly involved, so you don't have to worry about getting it right, so to speak. You can make your own decision. After each main mission though, you are graded based on your completion of primary and secondary objectives, collectibles, your speed and overall combat performance. So to get the best score you need to be fast, be on the lookout for hidden items, any hostages you can save, and kill enemies as fast as you can. I think during one of the first missions I managed to get an A, after that it was downhill, just B's and C's really, but it's mainly down to me missing items and side quests to be honest. Now each time you are done with an area, before leaving the game will warn you if there are any missions left to do. It is optional, you don't have to do all of them, but they at least let you know. I did struggle finding some of the parking ticket ones, so I eventually binned them off. If you head to the next area without finishing it, the game acts like it's gone forever, like you've lost your chance to complete that mission, but this isn't necessarily the case. You see, with RoboCop there is no manual save, the game auto saves, but it's at very large intervals after a big mission essentially, and the only way to double check is in the menu. You just need to see how much time has passed since your last save. If it's been a minute or two or a few minutes counting idle time, it's safe for you to quit. If it's been 30 minutes to an hour, you're not quite done. A bit of a silly way to do things, but RoboCop isn't the only game with this method. I believe Evil West does this too. I've been meaning to find out why. The good thing is, because the game saves at very large intervals, you can use this as a way to replay missions. I enjoyed the big scale levels, so it's sad to see there's no direct way of accessing them. The current method is to just load up one and go from there, but not all files are named, so you might have to research a bit to gauge where your favorite levels are. That and a bit of trekking time since you don't load into the mission straight away. It's a bit of a pain, but it's the only option really. The trophies are easy to get though, at least for 90% of them. Without paying too much attention to the requirements, I managed to get 24 out of the 28 trophies just by playing the game, and I don't think any of them require a new playthrough, and even if you did need to go back to a mission, you can just load up a save and go from there. But yeah, I think that covers most of what I wanted to say. Because of this game's quality, I'm surprised it was put on PlayStation Plus this early. 2 years is a long time, but I think it's quite generous, especially since the free games we've been getting this year haven't been pleasing fans. Under every Instagram announcement for the games every month, someone is always using this gif, but I think RoboCop has been the best one so far. I cannot recommend it enough, so if this is just sat in your library and you're looking for a 10 to 15 hour game to play, give this one a try. I think it's a solid pick. Depending on when I drop this video, the unfinished business expansion will be out already or will be out soon, so there's a lot to look forward to as well. I will most definitely get that. I guess it's a good marketing strategy to make this game free with the expansion on the way, so hopefully they deliver on that. If you do end up trying or have tried RoboCop already, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Dre, take care and see you next time.